Hello YouTube, Jay Murphy here with another episode of Murphy's Law for you. This one is going to be another different video for you. It's not pickups today. Today I'm doing my very first top 10. It's going to be the top 10 Capcom games made for the NES. This is a video response also to another YouTuber, Evan. He made his top 10 Capcom games for the NES, and he asked us all to do our video responses. So that's what I'm going to be doing for you. I don't own all these games, so I'm going to be putting gameplay footage over me talking, so you won't see my face for the entire video, just hear my thoughts on each game. So get right into it. Number 10, we have 1942. This is a ship shooter based in 1942. Very, very fun. Pretty good, pretty decent graphics for the time. It was a great arcade game as well as a game for the Nintendo, and that's really all there is to it. You just shoot ships in a ship. Pretty standard shmup. Number 9 is Bionic Commando. It's a side-scrolling action game. This one was really original because it had a swinging mechanic where your character had a bionic arm that could extend and grapple onto stuff, and he would swing over the gaps, which there was not any other game at the time that I could think of that did anything like that. I also believe there wasn't a jump button. There was the swing button and the fire button, and so it made it really original and a lot of different ways to figure out where you're going and stuff. It would be higher on the list, but it was very difficult for me to figure out as a child without any kind of guide or instruction manual. So that's why it's at number 9. Number 8 is another shooter. It's Gunsmoke. This one you are a cowboy, and you're moving through different towns and stages, hunting down, I can't remember if it's like 8 or 7, I don't know, somewhere in there, different bad guys. As you're going through, every enemy you kill, every item you pick up, it gives you money, and then you actually have to buy the bounty, I think, is how they have it. But either way, you have to stop at a shop, you buy the bounty, and then when you reach the end of the stage, you fight the boss. If you haven't bought the bounty by the end of the stage, you loop through the stage again. You can also use money to buy horses, which gives you an extra hit point. You can buy gun upgrades. They had like automatics and shotguns and spread shots, stuff like that. So that was pretty fun. Number 7, we have Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. This is one of the many, many Disney games that Capcom did for the NES. They had a licensing deal with Disney, and they did all of Disney's games, as far as I can remember, for the Nintendo, and they're all pretty good. This is one of my favorites. You play as Chip and Dale, the Rescue Rangers, going through different stages. You can pick up different things as weapons to throw them. Platforming, just great, solid controls. Decent music. The graphics were pretty good. There was a part 2 that I never got to play, so I can't really add that to the list because I've never played it. But yeah, so number 7 is Chip and Dale. Next up at number 6, we have Mega Man 3. This and one other Mega Man game, which were probably my 2 favorite Mega Man games on the system. I remember picking this one up and beating it with my uncle over the course of however long it took us. I don't remember. I got 2 games a year back then, one on my birthday, one on Christmas. I didn't have my own money to buy games, and so this was one of the oens I got for one of those 2 times where I actually got to own a game. The rest of the time we had to rent them. Like every Capcom game, really, really great music. Graphics were fun. The bosses were inventive. It was hard, but not hard enough to make you want to like shoot yourself. It's just very, very fun game. Next up at number 5, we have Legendary Wings. This is another shmup. This one, I don't even know what to call you. You are a dude with wings. It was 2 players simultaneous, which is why it landed so high on the list. It also had an original thing where you would go into these. So normally it was top down from bottom of the screen to top of the screen scrolling, but there was these bonus stages that would switch from left to right scrolling, and it changed up the gameplay a little bit, making it very fun. And very, mixed it up, gave it a little original feel to it that most shmups at the time did not have. At number 4, we have Darkwing Duck. Again, another Disney game made by Capcom. This one is kind of a Mega Man clone. There's a bunch of different weapons you can pick from, but Darkwing Duck is one of my favorite Disney cartoons growing up, and it's just absolutely, absolutely fantastic. Love this game. Love being able to play it. It was really well put together and really, really fun to be able to play as Darkwing Duck. So yeah. Number 3, we have Adventures in Magic Kingdom. This had a little bit of everything in it. There was a racing game. There was, I want to say, 2 or 3 side-scrolling platformer games, and then there's 2 quick time games where a command would appear on screen. You have to hit it really quick, either left, right, B or A, or up or down. I think down was one of them. And then there was also a trivia game, and you would play, so there's 5 of them. So there's a racing, 2 side-scrolling. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, so you play through each stage, and when you made it to the end of each event, you got a key. You needed all the keys to open up Magic Kingdom because Mickey Mouse lost them all. Besides that, there's no real plot, but the game itself is very, very fun. The music is pretty good. The fact that they mixed all these different genres, that you got platforming, you got racing, and it's a bump and jump style racing. And you got a little bit of Disney trivia, which I didn't know anything as a fucking kid. It's like, in what year did Disney open? And then it's like multiple choice, and all the years are in the 70s. So, and you know, a 5-year-old in the 80s, I didn't fucking know anything about that. But luckily, it lets you just go through the multiple choice answers until you get it right. So I had a lot of fun with that game as a kid. Number 2, we have DuckTales, the original. Love this game. Super original. The pogo stick cane mechanic that they used was crazy original. The music was fantastic. Probably my second favorite Nintendo soundtrack to any game. DuckTales was probably my favorite Disney cartoon growing up. Absolutely loved it. The game is fantastic. It's very fun to play through. It's not too difficult, but it's got enough difficulty that you don't get bored. There is hard mode. And then there's also a little Easter egg where if you collect all the treasure, you get a different ending. I've never been able to do that, but it's it's just completely original, fantastic game. Anyone who likes anything should play this game. It is very, very great. Now, before I give you the number 1, do a couple honorable mentions here. We had Little Nemo, the Dream Master, another fantastic game. I never got to play DuckTales 2 or Chippendales 2. But I've heard those are pretty good games. Mickey Mousecapade was a fantastic game, just not high enough to make it on my list. So yeah, those are some other games by Capcom. Check out the Little Mermaid game. Actually, is very fun, believe it or not. So that's another couple of games to check out if you have the time and money. And then number 1 game, absolutely positively favorite Capcom game for Nintendo, the one I spent the most time playing, Mega Man 2. It was just Mega Man perfection. It took whatever 1 did and made it better. The music is better, the bosses are better, the powers are better, the stage design is better. It changed the difficulty so it wasn't mind-numbingly hard, it was just hard enough to keep you interested, which is a lot. You'll see a lot of the games on this list are. And it's just the epitome of Mega Man perfection to me. I don't think anything has come close. After 2, they started adding in a bunch of stuff. They added in the slide in 3, the charge shot in 4, and they just kept adding stuff like the rush armor. And it just, number 2 is perfect. It's exactly what a Mega Man game needs to be. Unfortunately, we'll never see that again. But there you are. Mega Man 2, all-time favorite Capcom game for Nintendo. Evan, this was for you. Hope you enjoy it. Love to hear your thoughts on it. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. Why don't you guys go ahead and list your favorite Capcom games in the comments if you haven't already seen the other video. I'll put a link to the other video in my description. Please sub, comment, like, tell me what you think. And as always, fight evil, play video games.
In the year 2000X, Dr. Light created a super robot named Mega Man. Mega Man defeated Dr. Wily once. Now, Dr. Wily has created 8 new robots of his own.
I wanna be the one